platform there. And here in Bisbee, because it's one of the safer and more sanitary mines in the country, it actually had a speed limit when there were people on it, instead of just letting the brake go and everybody free falls. But fortunately that speed limit was pretty quick. It's about 800 to 1,000 feet a minute, which is around 56 miles an hour. So when you're loaded on there with 9 other men, you're going pretty quick. They're often multi-decked as well. The biggest cage we have here in Bisbee was a 5-decked 12-man cage, so 60 people all at once, just flying through the shaft itself. It wouldn't have been that fun of a ride or anything. It would have been super dark, really windy, because it's part of our ventilation, all these shafts. Some miners even got symptoms of hypothermia, so if you're working in all the mud and you're all wet and you're coming home, going 56 miles out of the shaft and it's dark and windy, you get pretty chilly. Pretty dangerous as well. It's the number 2 cause of death here in Bisbee. Anything to do with the raises and cages. Simply just falling down one, because the cage wouldn't be there all the time. And if you weren't that concerned, there were miners who would just jump over the hole in the ground. Don't recommend that, of course. But it did happen. And of course, as well, the safety movement here in Bisbee wasn't until 1912. That's when they actually started putting doors on the cages. Before then, it's just a platform with the 2 walls that you're standing on. Hopefully you don't fall out into the neighboring shaft. And then before then, no walls, just a platform. And then before then, just a big bucket that you're riding in. But then by the 70s, sorry, that distracted me. By the 70s, they were fully walled in like a regular old elevator. Much safer at that point. We're also under segmented set, so pretty old timber on this side anyway. It's a little new over here. This one's almost 100 years old, and I know that because of Joe, who wrote his name and the year 1925 on the timber over there. You're not really supposed to burn your timber that's supporting all the rock above you, but he did it anyway. Just left this little artifact. And it's at this point where we're underneath almost 2,000 feet of rock above us. And the timber protecting us from the number 1 cause of death, fall of ground. So that's any rock falling from above and squashing you or burying you alive. Pretty terrible. So it's nice that we're underneath all this timber. But I will mention that we do only use weak wood. This is a budget reason here in Bisbee. It's hard to get trees down here in Arizona. I'm just kidding. Not about the weak wood part, but about the budget part. We actually use weak wood on purpose. They call it telltale wood. So if your timber starts talking, you start walking. So you're going to hear a bunch of crackling, snapping, popping, bowing, swaying, lots of movement. And that's your warning to get out of there before it collapses. So if you don't notice all the rats and roaches running away from the ground moving, your timber making a bunch of noise, will definitely tell you. And pretty much have to end the tour here. Sorry, I'm out of time. Thanks for listening to me talk, maybe a little too much about mining. And of course, we do have the toilet car over there. It's a 2-seater. You never work alone.
Told you I was right.
Yep, you never work alone. So it's got one for you and your partner. And it's on wheels, so it follows you everywhere. And they don't come with rubber seats. Some guy here underground painstakingly cut out the conveyor belts into the toilet seat shape you see there in the 40s, which is when that's from, 1940s. And because it's the end of the tour, if you want to hop up and get a picture, you're free to do so. If you don't want a picture, you can go back to the train and Neil will help you load up on the train. You're going to take those little brass tags, drop them in the cup, Neil's got a picture of the train, load on that.